Welcome to the KK Petty TV.
Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel.
We do doll videos, Roblox, baking, and vlogs.
We also do short films such as The Story of Crazy Face, and we also do Talking Hot SHOWTIME.
A special thank you to Blue Blood Sports TV. Thank you so much for your support. We will continue to work hard and bring you more content. Bye!
Show support. Subscribe to KK Penson TV. If you got children, if you got nieces, if you got nephews, if you got little cousins, if you have friends that have kids, make sure they subscribe to KK Penson TV. Please do that. Show love and show support.
Hey, this is Cassie, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout out to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.
Shout outs to Blue Blood Sports TV.
You're watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, habla Cindy, está viendo Deportes TV.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So now that two-time welterweight world champion Showtime Shawn Porter has put himself in a position to be the mandatory in 3 out of the 4 major sanctioned body ranking system. Well, should I say 2 out of the 4? But he's top 2 at very least in 3 out of the 4. He's the WBC mandatory challenger for undefeated IBF WBC welterweight world champion superstar boxer Errol the True Spence Jr., in which that would be a rematch. He's the number 2 IBF challenger, which that's still held by Errol the True Spence Jr., and he became the number 1 mandatory challenger for the WBO, and that is held by 3-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the WBO welterweight world champion, Terence Crawford. A lot of the boxing pundits, the boxing fans, and the media have been calling for a Shawn Porter-Terence Crawford fight ever since after Shawn Porter lost the night of September 28th to Errol Spence and lost his WBC title in a unification bout. And his father, trainer, and manager, Kenny Porter, stated that they wanted an immediate rematch with Errol Spence, or they wanted to go after Terence Crawford and that WBO title. Terence Crawford and Shawn Porter reportedly had a conversation about staging the fight, according to Shawn Porter, and Terence Crawford informed Shawn Porter that he had other plans, and if somehow those plans didn't come to fruition, he would give Shawn Porter the opportunity, or should I say, he would revisit the possibility of facing Shawn Porter. Now, Terence Crawford doesn't have that same mobility as far as being able to mobilize himself around Shawn Porter, because now Shawn Porter is put himself in position to be the mandatory challenger for Terence Crawford. Now, with that said, Shawn Porter is the number 1 ranked opponent for the WBO. Is the WBO going to look to have Shawn Porter fight a fight to make himself the mandatory, or are they automatically going to elevate him as the mandatory challenger? And will Shawn Porter, the question is, will Shawn Porter uphold this position and force Terence Crawford to have to face off against him? We know Terence Crawford recently fought Igor Kavaluskas, the Mean Machine, in which he was the mandatory challenger, and Terence Crawford said he had to face Mean Machine Kavaluskas due to the fact that that was his mandatory and he had to honor his mandatory. In this case, will he honor the mandatory and Shawn Porter? And this is a mega fight. And will Shawn Porter uphold and hold the WBO to this standard? Or will Shawn Porter simply just be satisfied with being the WBC mandatory challenger and look to face the winner of Errol Spence, undefeated world champion and former 2-division world champion, former junior welterweight unified world champion, and former welterweight WBC world champion Danny Swift Garcia, in which Shawn Porter beat Danny Garcia for the vacant WBC title, in which that's how he gained the WBC title. But Errol Spence and Danny Garcia set to face off November 21st. Is Shawn Porter looking to face the winner of that fight and just is comfortable in that position, or would he push the issue and force a fight with Terence Crawford? Currently, right now, Terence Crawford has no opponent set in stone. He actually seems to be scrambling for an opponent to stage a November 14th showdown in which his promoter, legendary promoter and CEO of Top Rank, Bob Arum, stated that that's the date they wanted to have Terence Crawford grace the squared circle. November 14th, a week before Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. Shawn Porter recently fought 2 weekends ago. Is Shawn Porter willing to place himself in that position to face Terence Crawford November 14th? Is that enough time to build a fight of this magnitude? Shawn Porter, needless to say, he's always in shape. He doesn't have to get in shape. He didn't take any punishment in his last fight. So Shawn Porter, I'm sure, is willing and ready to go. Would the WBO force this fight right now, so soon, after placing Shawn Porter recently, less than 48 hours ago, in the WBO mandatory spot? Is this something that they would push for? I mean, Terence Crawford did tell Shawn Porter he would revisit the possibility of facing Shawn Porter if all his plans fell through. Well, it seems like facing Kell Brook, former IBF welterweight British superstar boxer, world champion, who beat Shawn Porter for the IBF title, they offered him $1.5 million. And according to his promoter, Matchroom CEO and promoter Eddie Hearn, that's not enough to get it done. They attempted to get Josito Lopez in the ring, but he opted to go in a different direction and now is looking to face Maurice Mighty Mo Hooker, who recently signed with PBC Premier Boxing Champions to showcase his talents. And there's a possible fight between Josito Lopez and Maurice Mighty Mo Hooker on the co-main event spot for Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, November 21st. They look to possibly have a fight with, which seems Keith Thurman, but Keith Thurman, they said, priced himself out, asking for $10 million, and then they countered by saying, tell Al to send us a contract with a boatload of money. So that seems to be off the table. They missed out on the opportunity to land 8th division world champion, legendary, iconic Filipino superstar boxer, and currently the WBA super champion, Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, who was being reported by his trainer, legendary trainer Freddie Roach, that Manny Pacquiao won't grace the squared circle in the year 2020. He, in fact, is going to wait till 2021, and then he may not even have more than 2 fights left in his career. And one of those fights seems to be 4th division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Mikey Garcia, and the other could possibly be Errol Spence Jr. should he get past Danny Garcia in a unification bout for the WBC, IBF, and WBA world titles. That, of course, hinges on the fact that Manny Pacquiao gets past Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence gets past Danny Garcia. So they missed out for Terence Crawford to land an opportunity to face Manny Pacquiao, in which Bob Arum stated that they will have to go outside of the country to get somebody to financially back this fight because it's a mega fight, and due to the fact of the pandemic and social distancing, there's no fans allowed to attend live sporting events, so therefore there's no live revenue. So he's running out of opponents. And he said if all his plans fell through, he would revisit again the possibility of facing Shawn Porter. Now Shawn Porter is in position to land another mega fight with Terence Crawford, in which a lot of people are saying now it's a 50-50 fight after the performance from Shawn Porter against Errol Spence. And some people even believe that Shawn Porter will win the fight against Terence Crawford. Not too many people would have thought that prior to the Errol Spence fight. But after his outing against Errol Spence, a lot of people had a change of heart. The question, again, still remains, is Shawn Porter willing to move and lose his opportunity at a rematch with Errol Spence, Danny Garcia winner for the WBC title, which he held. He held the IBF as well. He's number 2 in the IBF rankings. He's never held the WBO. And this would be a major fight. And this would be more of a realistic fight for the timeline that seems to be set, as Errol Spence is going to face Danny Garcia November 21st. The winner of that fight, more than likely, is not going to fight again until at least March. Shawn Porter just fought in August. Is he going to wait that long? March, April? When he can land the possibility of fighting Terence Crawford before 2020 is up, becoming a WBO champion, and then facing the winner, Danny Garcia, and Errol Spence in a mega unification bout, or maybe be able to lure Manny Pacquiao into a fight at that point in time, because it would be a unification bout, opposed to sitting on the shelf and waiting for the winner of that fight to come around and then be ready to fight in 2021. I know the WBC is seen as the most prestige belt in all of boxing, but he already held that belt. This is an opportunity for him to hold another major sanctioned body title. And still, after, like I said, beat Terence Crawford, after the performance against Errol Spence, that makes a rematch with Errol Spence that much bigger for Shawn Porter. So is this an opportunity and a sacrifice he's willing to make? Because again, he would be removed from the WBC position. But if he beats Terence Crawford, no worries, because a showdown between him and Errol Spence anyway would be huge, massive anyway. A showdown at that point in time with Manny Pacquiao would be massive anyway. And there's a possibility he could have a rematch clause against Terence Crawford. So it's another big payday for Showtime Shawn Porter. I think he should go the route of pressing the Terence Crawford fight, because that could happen before the year's up. And then he's in position to have a unification bout. He's never been unified. He held the IBF. He held the WBC, but not simultaneously. This is an opportunity for him to hold the WBO and have another opportunity to face Errol Spence in another unification bout. Because when he faced Errol Spence the first time, he held the WBC, Errol Spence held the IBF. So this is an opportunity for him to have another unification bout where Errol Spence, with it all on the line once again. So we have to see how this all plays out. And Terence Crawford is in a position where he truly has no choice. So let's see how this all plays out. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed? Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace. More Modern Day Slave out now. Go get your copy. Pariah Administrations presents More Modern Day Slave. You can hear a sneak peek coming up right now. Listen to the sneak peek. Then go to SoundCloud and support the grind. Support the business. Let's go. Let's get it. Support More Modern Day Slave right now. Let's listen to this sneak peek.
Interactions with a bass head, seen his eyes for the bass hit him. He was soul searching for his place, too late to judge him. I'm addicted to his payment, stay avoiding state, pay vacation, trying to take my babies to the caves, enjoying the fruits of all their hard labor. But for right now, stay down and stay patient. I don't converse with niggas stuck off in the matrix, trunking peace sound, get made with killer faces. Every soul around us won't be syndicated, not up in the process of being renovated.
Hey, this is Jasmine. Thank you for watching Blue Blood Sports TV. Hola, soy Jasmine. Gracias por ver Sangre Azul Deportes TV. Gracias.